So, today's convocation, graduation ceremony, you have spent 200 hours. We should understand little bit about the tradition and the lineage from where I'm teaching. One thing is sure that I don't know anything. Whatever I learned, I am passing on to you from my master. So, when there is a transmission of a knowledge, maybe a belief, in a normal way, we should understand the tradition. When we pass on the belief, rites, and rituals from one generation to the other, that is known as tradition. But here, we mean by tradition is transmission of knowledge of yoga. That includes karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, hatha yoga, from one generation to the other generation. That is known as tradition. Because the knowledge of yoga is revealed in deep meditation from the masters, so that knowledge is transmitted from one generation to the other. Normally, what happens? Our science knowledge, it is you have the book, here is a book. So it is the outer knowledge that is transmitted from one generation to the other. So that tradition is different from the tradition of yoga. Normally you see that lot of people add yogi, yogini. So yogi or yogini means that knowledge is now revealed into that person so that he is a part or she is a part of the tradition. Are you understanding what is tradition? So we may say it is a belief, principle, or way of living, lifestyle in a particular society or a group have continued to follow for a long time. So here the knowledge of yoga have been practiced and transmitted in its original form for more than 6,000 years is what is known as tradition. So we have many tradition. If I say Americanization means what? Set of belief, the way of acting, the particular norms of the society have been passed. So that is the outer form. So lineage is specialized. You can say that it is a specialized tradition. What that means? Direct descent from an ancestor. That is the real meaning of lineage. So here what it means by ancestry. You have seen ancestry, you can find your parents and their parents and their parents. So here the lineage of yoga means the master have started teaching a particular group based on the tradition, and he made many students realize the ultimate or they discover their true nature. So many are one out of many disciples carry forward that lineage, which is a part of tradition. So, in a sense, lineage is like an ancestry. But yoga ancestry is based on qualification, on practice, on revelation of a knowledge as their masters had revealed the knowledge of a yoga. So yoga ancestry is not based on the members of the family. Did you understand the difference between the tradition and the lineage? Tradition. So specifically to talk of yoga, transmission of knowledge from masters to disciples, who in turn became masters, and again they continued the same tradition. So tradition, one thing is very important, the same knowledge is passed on, the same principles were passed on. That is why we say we learn and educate ourselves in authentic yoga tradition. Authentic yoga tradition means what? Whatever the knowledge has been passed by my teacher who belongs to a particular lineage, that I am passing on the knowledge. I did not create any knowledge. Clear? Did you understand? You can move your, or you can say yes. Audios are open. Clear?
Yeah.
So now we should understand what is our lineage. In what lineage you learnt the system of this yoga. That is why you see that we don't say it is Ashtanga Yoga, we don't say it is, what are the other names, Casey? Nyasa and Hatha Yoga and Shivananda, we don't say that. We see that we belong to a lineage, it means it is coming from hundreds of years based on the transmission of the knowledge. So our tradition is known as Avdhuta tradition or Avdhuta lineage.
Can you spell that for them, please, so they can take notes?
Avdhoota. Avdhuta. It is the highest and it is the largest. It is also a tradition and it is also a lineage. So lineage means we can pinpoint a particular teacher. Avdhuta. Avdhuta. Now first we should understand what is Avdhuta. Masters. They are beyond the body and the mind. They live and work as a perfect instrument of the highest consciousness. You all have a smartphone. The smartphone is an instrument to call, to text, to take video, to record audio, to take picture, and lot of other stuff. It is an instrument. So a student becomes the perfect instrument of the highest consciousness or the real self. That is known as the Avdhuta tradition. Avdhuta also means it is the highest state of realization, highest state of awakening. Have you heard the word Zen in Buddhism? So Zen tradition is also known as the highest state of realization in Buddhism. Similarly, clear?
Yeah.
Now there are many ways this Avdhuta tradition in India is present. Based on my past impression, just to tell you an example, in early days when I met my master, I said, I will renounce the worldly life, I will become a monk. So my master told me that if you want to be a monk, get lost. I will not initiate you in the monkhood. Then I asked him that why you became a monk. He said, I was fool. At the age of 12 years, I ran away from my house. I met my master and he said, just wear this orange colored cloth and become a monk. So I became a monk. I was not aware. So he's told me that you can understand what exactly is monkhood. It is an inner change. It is a change of your mind. You should be free from the six enemies of the mind. So when you reach to that state, internally you can become a monk. So why I explain to you? In Avdhuta tradition, there is no restrictions and compulsions to have any kind of a ritual or dress code or a orange colored cloth, but what their importance, they lay the importance to bring about a change where inside, inner change. How many people, how many of you live in peace all 24 hours a day? No, we are trying. It means we have to reach to the higher stage of Avdhuta tradition. Come what may. Can we live into that state of calmness and peace and joy? That is one way to understand Avdhuta tradition. Are you getting it? So Avdhuta in Sanskrit, which means you leave all the burdens of the society. Your inner consciousness, your inner mind rises above the society. That is one literal meaning of Avdhuta. So how we can say it is the highest tradition? How we can say Avdhuta lineage is the highest? So our text confirms that. The very lowest level, or you can say the first level, is known as Kuti Chakra. First level is known as Kuti Chakra. They live in the ashram and they are the ashram dwellers and they practice the same knowledge. Second level is known as Bahudaka. Bahudaka means they are supported by many people and they continue to pass on the knowledge. Third level is known as Hansa. Hansa, the meaning of the Hansa is swan. They live like a swan. Then the great Paramhansa, fifth one. Fourth one. Fifth one is Turiyatita. And the sixth one is Avdhuta tradition, Avdhuta lineage. We will see how we say it is the highest Now, who started this Avadhuta tradition? The great master Dattatreya started this Avadhuta tradition. You can write down the name Dattatreya, Dattreya. Dattatreya. He was a great master. Now pay attention. Not many people know this secret, that you know it. You can tell authentically. So first, this master is known as the Lord of Yoga. Who is the codifier of yoga? Who is the codifier of yoga? We learnt, we did 200 hours of training. What is the name of the master who is known as the codifier of yoga? Patanjali. And who is the originator of yoga? Krishna in the Shiva. And who is the Lord of yoga? The Dattatreya. Lord of yoga means? Lord means? Lord? Lord means that he is the master of his kingdom. Same thing. Dattatreya knows all the systems of yoga. Tantra, mantra, meditation. That is why he is known as Datta, Lord of Yoga. So our Avadhuta tradition started with Dattatreya. Clear? Now understand. Treya is the name of his guru. And Datta means given. So, Guru has given him the knowledge, the best knowledge. That is why he is known as Dattatreya. Okay, did Casey teach you about Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, three gods? Did Casey you teach them? Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva.
The deities and the devas.
Yeah, deities and devas. So Dattatreya is known as the reincarnation of the three gods, three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha. See that? Even my master has been seen as a partial reincarnation of Krishna. So just to remember that, we are not going in detail what exactly is the reincarnation. You understand that word. Now see that Dattatreya, because he is well versed with all the systems of yoga, the Tantra, the Mantra, the Hatha Yoga, the Raja Yoga, the Karma Yoga, the Jnana Yoga. So couple of disciples followed a particular branch of knowledge of yoga, and they said it is the Natha tradition, which is very famous. Natha tradition of yoga. Even in the Natha tradition, the Dattatreya is considered as the origin of Natha tradition. Their God is nothing, no one but Dattatreya. Dattatreya also, another tradition started which is totally based on the knowledge. Now, in that knowledge, we do Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, Tantra Yoga, Mantra Yoga, everything. So, from that lineage, my master followed that lineage from the Dattatreya. Now, there are doubts, but I have a belief. I have a book on yoga by Dattatreya. It is known as Dattatreya Yoga Text, in which he explained the eightfold, eight-limbed path of yoga. Have you heard about Ashtanga Yoga? No. What did you study in 200 hours? Ashtanga Yoga is eight-limbed path of Patanjali Yoga. Many masters believe that it is Dattatreya who taught Patanjali the yoga. Casey. It is the Dattatreya who taught eightfold path of eight-limbed path of yoga, which Patanjali changed according to the time and according to his understanding, which became asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. When Dattatreya lived almost 3000 BC. So there were some references that Patanjali was the disciple of Dattatreya. It means our historical date that we put for Patanjali Yoga Sutra around 500 BC is not correct. Eight-limbed path explained by Dattatreya is more focused on meditation and hundreds of practices of meditation, which Patanjali summarized in the last three limbs. Clear? We understood the tradition. From the tradition, there is a lineage, and we have a lineage which is Avdhuta, and the Avdhuta lineage is so vast that people have started saying it is also a unique tradition, came from the tradition of yoga because it spread its wings all over the India. If you go to South India, people have an image of Dattatreya with the three heads representing Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha. So then there is another tradition which talks a lot about mantra. There is another tradition. There is another lineage, I would say. So all the different lineages of Dattatreya can be known as tradition. So we belong to Dattatreya lineage, which is the Avdhuta tradition. Avdhuta is the highest state of realization. The sixth tradition. Are you getting it? And again I am repeating that Dattatreya is known as the Lord of Yoga. Patanjali is only known as the codifier of yoga. See that? Codifier, I summarized, I codified, but Dattatreya is the Lord of yoga. And the originator of yoga, Krishna and Shiva. So he is also the reincarnation of Shiva and the Krishna. So he should be well versed with all the system of yoga. He also knows the origin of yoga. So that is why he is named as the Lord of Yoga. He belonged to the tradition. There are a couple of things. Uh, yeah, I should not go there. So this Dattatreya tradition, this Avdhuta lineage is refined, made very subtle. And these masters belongs to this lineage, they leave no mark of their past. Why? They are not attached to anything, totally detached, living totally free. So we asked, it means I and many of disciples of my master asked that what is your date of birth? He says no, Avdhuta never tells you the date of their birth. That is one expression. They don't tell you their birth, they don't tell you their caste, they don't tell you who are their parents. Anyhow, we come to know. But my master's master, Swami Paramanand, I think Casey has seen the picture. We both went to the ashram, monastery of my master. So we don't know anything about their birth, their parents. They even do not tell you anything about their austerity and penance. We know a lot about my master because there are still 80 years old people who lived with the master from the age of 20 years old. So we know where he went, how he used to meditate, what he used to eat in the cave. So many of our older disciples who are now 70, I have been with him for almost 26 years. So they have been with the master for more than 50 years. So because they have seen it, they talk about it. Otherwise, master never talks in Avdhuta tradition about their past. Why? That is the part of the world. They are totally absorbed into the highest consciousness. Now, little more about Dattatreya. The word Dattatreya and his teaching is found in almost every group of text. It is found in epics, it is found in Upanishads, it is found in Tantra text. So you will find the reference of Dattatreya in every most famous text is Avdhut Upanishad and Avdhut Gita. Avdhut Upanishad and Avdhut Gita. Are you getting it? Tradition is general term, transmission of the knowledge. Lineage, specialized. That one master has reached to that state and he has many disciples who also became the masters. So lineage is like an ancestry, but in yoga, the ancestry is based on the qualification and the realization of the disciple. And then we came to Dattatreya. lived around 300,000 BC, means almost 5,000 years back from today, known as Lord of Yoga. So we have three terms: Lord of Yoga, originators of yoga, codifier of yoga. So Dattatreya is a direct representative of the three gods, Shiva and the Krishna, includes who are the originators of yoga. So Dattatreya is the direct, you can say, descendant who gets the knowledge of the yoga, mantra, etc., etc. And there are references where many historians believe that Patanjali learnt yoga from Dattatreya. So Dattatreya, the Lord of Yoga. Patanjali, the codifier of yoga. Dattatreya wrote a text, very small text. I have there somewhere here. So he explained also the eight-limbed path, but not as what Patanjali has written. Patanjali, if I say, learned from Dattatreya and has modified according to his own understanding and knowledge. Another important point, the reference of Dattatreya, of the Avdhuta lineage and tradition, is found in almost all the ancient texts. All the ancient texts. You'll be surprised that many of the practices I have taken from Dattatreya Yoga. In Natha tradition, there is a tremendous stress on the practice of asanas, pranayama, and the mantras started by the Dattatreya. So when you go to one part of East India, you'll find a different Avdhuta lineage. You go to South India, you'll find a different lineage of Dattatreya. You go to West India, different lineage. So Dattatreya is all over India. This is in brief about our and you should know that this Avdhuta have different forms. They can be householder, they can live in the caves alone, they don't come out of the Himalayan caves. There are many Avdhutas. They are living in those caves. They don't want to come out. There are Avdhuta like my master who lived with their disciples. There are also the Avdhutas who live in the forest. In the last point, I discussed that they are not interested in telling you that where they were born. Like an American, I struggled hard and I became wealthy, so I have a good story, so I become the American bestseller. Avdhuta tradition does not follow this. They are not interested. Past is gone. So now tell me if you have any question. What happened? What happened?
Now you're back.
Something happened?
You're back. You're not back.
Okay, something happened. So, ask me any question about this. In brief, that is what is about lineage and
Guess the name of your master, sir? Lakshman, Advakuta Lakshman.
Your voice is breaking up, not clear.
The name of your teacher, please.
Yeah, Swami Lakshman Das Avdhut. Name of my teacher is Swami Lakshman, Laxman, Lakshman Das Avdhut. So normally, whether you add Avdhut as a surname or you don't add it, you belong to the tradition. So I was also given a title and then I left all the title. You don't need all those titles. Clear?
Yes.
Any more? Huh? You should understand the tradition. The word tradition means transmission. What is transmitted? The knowledge and the practices from one master to his disciple until that disciple becomes the master when the knowledge is revealed to him. That is the way this tradition continues. And they are not concerned about. They may have 1,000 disciples, only one is able to reveal the knowledge. They are okay. They're not interested in making followers. So in that process, in that way, even the Buddha was a great Avdhuta. He never cared. We don't know how many followers he has.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
The tradition, the lineage that we follow is approximately 3,000 years old. The
Yes.
founder is Katsapaya. So we could say that our lineage is 3,000 years old.
It is more, almost I would say 5,000 years old because it is 3000 BC.
Okay. So we're saying Patanjali Yoga Sutras were written way before 2,500 years ago.
That is what many historians believe. There are some references that Dattatreya taught yoga to the Patanjali. And then Patanjali codified the entire yoga as a Yoga Sutra. But a common belief is that the Patanjali lived around 480 or 500 BC, means 2500 years ago from now. But we can find a common point because Dattatreya wrote yoga as in Dattatreya Yoga Shastra. Shastra means complete text. So that is the name of the text. So he explained the Eightfold Path. So it is but natural to understand that Patanjali also explains the eight-limbed path. So he might be the student of Dattatreya.
Could it be also said that historians are just looking at, since the Yoga Sutras are the zip file of yoga as Patanjali knew it, could it be that he was just referencing other texts since 5,000 years ago to create the Yoga Sutra? I mean, have historians looked at that?
The moment we say codified, compressed, then it means the Patanjali has summarized the entire tradition.
Right.
Entire tradition of yoga. He mentioned, directly or indirectly, or even with one sutra, he mentioned asana, he mentions pranayama, mantra, even the tantra. He also mentioned indirectly the herbal way of entering into meditation. Janma Aushadhaya. By the birth, you enter into the meditative state by using Aushadhi, by using herbs. There are certain herbs that also induces the higher state of meditation, and then he uses Samadhi, means the Eightfold Path. Or in the first chapter, he says you can directly go into the meditative state. So when you say you are right, when he said not only 5,000, but the entire tradition of yoga has been summarized, compressed, codified by Patanjali.
Does that all make sense, Coach? You might take a picture of that and not write it down notes. That will help you if you by line code. Okay? So if somebody asks you about, what type of yoga do you study, which you're going to get that a lot, right? You can give them a little bit, because if you start giving them too much, I guarantee their head's going to spin. Right? You can say the tradition I follow is, can you pronounce it, Sienna?
Be very clear. Casey, make them clear again. Lord of Yoga, originator of yoga, codifier of yoga.
Right? So yeah, I think that's a really good pyramid, sir, to think of. You don't have to go into great detail of this today, but isn't Krishna avatar of Vishnu?
Yes.
So how do we qualify Vishnu and Shiva both being creators or originators of yoga? Krishna would have come way after Shiva, correct?
Yeah. So when we say Krishna is the originator of yoga because he is the reincarnation of Vishnu, so we can safely say Vishnu is the originator of yoga. But at the same time, in Gita, Krishna declares himself as the originator of yoga. So we have a written testimony in the Gita. So hence we say not Vishnu, but we say Krishna is the originator of yoga.
When's the first time we hear of Krishna? In the Gita, or do we hear Krishna before the Gita?
Yeah, in the Gita itself. Gita is a part of the greatest epic known as Mahabharata.
Right. So that's the first time we hear of Krishna, so that is approximately 2,500 years old.
Yeah, 25 or 26, yes.
Thank you.
So anything about, so remember a triangle, the originator of yoga, an equilateral triangle pointing upward, the first angle. Second is the Lord of Yoga, and obviously the codifier of yoga. So we can say originator of yoga is at the top, Lord of yoga is greater than the codifier of yoga. Obviously, see that. That's another. Dattatreya is famously known as the Lord of Yoga. Wherever you hear the name of Dattatreya, one thing is mentioned that he is the Lord of Yoga. And that yoga includes Tantra Yoga, Mantra, Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, all systems of yoga.
What's one thing you guys could say about Patanjali that you learned today? What's one thing that you could say about him that you learned today that's different than yesterday?
Clear?
So we've always talked about, and if you look in your records, I'm not change it, that sutras are 2,500 years old, right? Well, if Pachatriya, who lived 5,000 years ago, but there's some kind of support, as Girish was saying, that he actually received the knowledge from Pachatriya. The one thing we learned today, and just like yesterday, is the Pachatriya could be much older than 2,500 years old, right? So it's something to think about. So somebody might ask you, and you might hear, again, we don't call people out what you're wrong. And now you've heard today, there's some evidence somewhere historians believe that actually the Pachatriya could be closer to 5,000 years old, right? Because there's a big difference between 5,000 years and 2,500 years, right? So I don't know actually that, and I don't know, but Pachatriya probably was around 2,500 years ago to 5,000. Okay? So, but it's just interesting. You somehow got about it, good. So it's just interesting. You're going to hear different people that will say assuredly, now this is the way it is. But then looking at your lineage, is it different to okay. So looking at the lineage, our lineage, the lineage that you guys are following, that you started out with, you can see it's very non-judgmental. We're not going to sit there and say, no, our way is the only right way, right? So Rachel's been around many times in verses, like if somebody wants to pick a fight or whatever they do, they'll just say, yes, you're right, Rachel? When they're like, he talked about being a prayer in his life, yes, you're right, as opposed to having a fight. So the Advaita lineage is much, it's not like Girish was saying, you're not going to find them history book, this great master, this great master, this great master, this great master. So you're not going to say, hey, I'm the great master, look at me, right? Just like you're never going to say, I'm the greatest teacher, look at me. There's all kinds of wonderful teachers out there, right? And we're all part of that same tradition of yoga. But they might be not in the authentic Himalayan tradition. They might be in a different tradition. That's okay. Right? But your lineage is a little bit more clear now, right? And we'll go into a lesson, I'll teach a lesson on more the modern day. So you'll learn something about that. All right, sir, do you have anything else that you want us to know about the lineage?
That's all.
Okay, you can take a little break if you want. At 3 o'clock, we'll invite, Sienna's parents are going to be coming. So, what do we have now? Is it like 10 till? Not like that? Okay. So, well, don't take a break, sir. Why don't we let the girls ask you any questions? We can see Rachel's in the background. She might have to leave soon. If there's any
Right. Any question?
or even give them a guided meditation, I'm going to unlock the door.
Why your voice is not clear?
So, you mentioned a little earlier that like there was different Awaken family. There's like the Buddha, the highest is Jain, right? Is that what you said?
Your voice is not clear. Perhaps it is the sound box or the speaker. You said lineage and ancestry.
So, I think you mentioned earlier, correct me if I'm wrong, that there's different families, like the highest lineage in the Buddha family is the Jain.
No. Okay, I understood. So when we say Avadhuta tradition, it means that those who reaches to the highest state of realization are known as Avadhuta. So you should not misunderstand the lineage with the highest state. So there are 6 stages. So when you reach to the 6th stage, it is known as Avadhuta. So you reach to the highest state of realization. So in our tradition, in non-Buddhist tradition, the Avadhuta is known as the highest masters who have the highest realization. Similarly, in Buddhism, the Zen monks are known as the top of their masters. Clear? That is one. Second point is lineage is like ancestry. Ancestry in the world outside, in society, means that whatever the wealth your parents have will be inherited to you. Will you share something to me also? Sienna. So that is known as ancestry. So in lineage of yoga, the ancestry does not depend on passing on the inherited properties and the wealth to their children. Ancestry in yoga or lineage in yoga is based on your realization, the knowledge that you have, clarity that you have, the meditative state you can achieve, awakening you had. So, ancestry in yoga depends on your knowledge, wisdom, experience, realization. You do not get qualified because you belong. You simply claim that you are the disciple of a certain master. You have to work hard, you have to qualify, you have to practice, you have to reach to that state. So, difference between ancestry and avdhuta is the highest state. Means you can say that those who are given the title of avdhuta are known as the highly knowledgeable than others. Good?
Yes, thank you.
Good.
Okay. This plan is essential for oxygen production, knowledge, or science. Having no medical disease,
What Maya you are thinking?
I was just wondering, like, if I should invite my parents, when I should invite my parents to come watch, because I know they want to watch a little bit of it.
3 o'clock.
Now you 3 o'clock. Now you can ask them
Okay.
to be a part of this. Did Casey send an invite of June?
Okay.
So we will start with that.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick, but I'll be right back.
Sienna, any more question, Avery?
No, good.
No question. I get scared when you guys ask questions to me. Yeah. You know, Diksha. Have you heard about initiation?
They didn't have any time now, Maya, because Sienna's family is here. Just whenever you all can all the speakers, so you can very well find them off. I said, your parents?
Yeah, they're coming up.
Hey. Welcome everybody. It's perfect. It's a big day. Yeah. First and foremost, get your cameras out. Take some pictures. What I can do is I like to get Rachel and Avery and Sienna, and then Maya, I'm going to spotlight you. So if you three will come over here. Hang on there, Girish. I'm going to spotlight Maya in these new worlds that we're in.
Yes.
Okay. So that we can have Maya. Why don't you guys come sit around so Maya can take a picture of you. Everybody. Very good, Maya. You're going to have to smile. Smile really big.
I see your picture in the background. White, black and white. Who is this?
Sure.
This one,
Yeah.
it's Lana Del Rey. It's her album cover.
Very nice, Maya.
What she is keeping in her mouth.
I think it's a cigarette.
Okay, then what I'm going to do is, Sienna, I'm going to have you hold Maya in your lap so I can get both of your face.
What happened? That is the beauty of this online. Casey, I think Casey.
She's frozen. Maybe she'll come
Yeah,
back.
she is frozen, yes. What happened to you, Casey? Why you are frozen? We didn't say anything to you. She will join again.
Yeah, I bet she will.
From too far, that girl appears to be doing something else, as if she is bringing the fire out from her mouth.
Yeah, it kind of does. 1 second.
So I said,
Casey just got frozen, so she's gonna come back on. You can sit there, I was thinking.
good afternoon, sir. How are you, sir?
How are you?
Fine, fine. How are you?
Good.
There you are. Yeah, there's Maya's family. Okay, let's try this one more time without pulling the cord out. My battery went dead on my computer, guys, so. You got it, Sienna?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, even
Graduates together. I'm going to try to get you there, Sienna's beautiful smile. I'm trying to not get reflections. Beautiful. And I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit better. One more smile.
our battery goes off. What
Thank
to
you
talk
for
about
that.
the battery of smartphones.
And Sienna, do you want to go back with your family? And let's get a picture of family all together.
Family all together, but we don't see your face.
There you go. Any poses you want, take your poses. That's awesome. Family is so important.
You can pose up if you want. Sorry.
I'll touch you about this stuff.
Why is this?
Supporting your family, Sienna, this whole 200 hours has been you, right? Partially, some of it has been through guiding your siblings and how you guide your dad.
Come close to the speaker mic so that we can hear you clearly.
All right, so we're coming back.
Yes.
We gotta get some family photos on this end. So
Yeah.
Maya, are we able to get your dad to take pictures of you and your mom, and then vice versa? Or can you do a family selfie?
He's been
Yes,
taking.
I have taken.
Very, very good. Families are so important in this process.
Thanks.
Jen, if you would like to give Maya her certificate.
Okay. Oh. Just the certificate?
Rachel, will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
Let's stare. Hold on to it. Oh, you got it. Beautiful.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So, Maya, as I was telling everybody and mentioning to you, it's been 2 years that you've been in the program, and it seems like it's gone, to me at least, like this. So this has been at a difficult time because there was a core group of 5 or 6 girls that had been in, training together for already a year or so. And then you came in and you're kind of like trying to find your way of how this is all going to work. Some of the lessons were done at a different time than they had had. You handled it with such grace, with such maturity. You maintained your peaceful nature throughout all of the trainings. You were really great about speaking up when there was something that you were not sure of. And at the same time, you were just respectful of everybody else's learning process. So for me, as your guide, as watching you learn and apply what you've learned over the last 2 years, Rachel knows this, pretty much everybody knows this. This is about the time I start to cry, right? And it thrills me to have been a part of this process for you, to assist Girish in bringing this to you, the little bit of stuff that I know as a yoga professional in the world. But it thrills me that now you've done this, you've made this commitment, you've completed this so beautifully, and you're ready to take it out into the world however you choose to, whenever you choose to. So, namaste to you, my friend. I love you very much, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to be your guide. All right? I'm going to turn it over to Girish.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you to be your teacher, and as Casey says, you've always been respectful. And yes, you always also ask the questions where you had the doubt. But on this last day, it doesn't mean that you cannot talk to us. You can communicate with us at any time, me and the Casey. I would request you that you have learnt at least 6 or 7 different meditation and relaxation practices. Why don't you start giving some relaxation to your mom and dad also? The moment, the moment they feel, they feel stress, give them the practice. So give them all one of the 5 or 6 practices that you have learned, because teaching is learning also. The more you teach, and your dad and mom will say, oh yes, I'm relaxed, this practice is better than the other. So you will also gain confidence in learning, and who knows, you also get inspired that I should also be doing the practice regularly. The entire journey of yoga, I think you are clear. I have been teaching it again and again. So, in front of your parents, yoga is in depth psychology, West Eastern psychology. Do you remember asatoma? What that means? Do you remember, Maya? Asatoma satgamaya. The simple meaning, and that is applicable to every individual, every human being. This literally means we should move from the false to the truth in our thought, in our speech, in our action. So what is personal in this phrase? It says, the yoga declares, the moment I experience anxiety, duality, pain, problem, suffering, that is false. I have to move to the truth. And what is that truth? That permanent peace and happiness lies within all of us. We have to discover that peace and happiness within all of us. You see that how yoga is applicable to every human being on the earth. Even if you pick up one phrase and you start living that life, it goes a long way. Where you have gone, everyone, I can't see anyone. I am waiting.
Here, so it didn't matter
Yes.
what we're doing, and it was clear that this was your path, this is what you wanted, not mom or dad or this was what Sienna wanted. It's just another one of those moments where we get the opportunity to guide anyone in any age that really has that sincerity to learn. It's just kind of that moment of that moment when it's kind of in the heart. We kind of go, wow, thank you.
Maya, when you can become perfect.
Hi, sir. Hang on a second. I just started with Gianna, so we'll have you finish up in a second, okay? I'm glad you made it back in. So I was just saying the day that I first met with Ryan and Sienna and saw that she had this passion for wanting to learn authentic yoga and that she had had an experience that wasn't fulfilling for her. How thankful I was that we got given the opportunity for her to come in and study with us. So that's what I was just telling her. So, in the course of a little over a year, she started with us, I want to say it was this summer, I want to say it was in June or July. Here we go. In the course of the year, your fire is gone. And not only has it just grown from this place about yoga, but I learned from you, the modern contemporary. I learned from you when I come into how to use it, what you learned in the fire, and you are already in me, right? So we never got a chance to teach her. I have a chance to give you whatever knowledge I can give you, Girish, not telling you everything that you know. So, the light that you had then has grown like crazy. We have some plants and fire. And I really, both of us, so many people who are what you're going to do with this work. I know that I know that you're going to do great things in community, but I also know that this application in your own life, just got this fire. So I'm so great that you felt, I'm not going to gymnastics or not doing yoga, and then you think toward us. Here, you're welcome. Excellent job. Always done. Here, the pretties without pushing over the cord. Wonderful. Okay. Just the way in Colorado, there's some colors.
Come close to the mic.
And then,
Good. Congratulations, Sienna.
you the practice and then just have to stay down. So much. So, hearing the light forward. I don't have any doubt that it's going to be it's just a natural. Girish? Well, would you like to finish saying what you wanted to say? We ended up with anxiety, right? We lost you at anxiety.
Yeah. I wanted to say to both of these beautiful and intelligent girls that you have completed 200 hours of training or teaching, learning, knowledge of yoga. Yoga means a knowledge that helps you to study what? Can you tell me? The entire yoga is a study to study yourself. So, what is the meaning of studying yourself? What are my shortcomings? Let me remove it. What are my traits? Let me enhance, increase them, help them reach to the summit. So, when I was explaining Asato ma satgamaya, literal meaning is moving from the false to the truth. Don't worry about the world outside. They may be full of false or the truth. You have to worry about yourself. Yoga is about self-knowledge. So I trust both of you. should set an example that you move from the false to the truth. And in modern language, what does it mean? What is false? Anxiety, duality, conflict, pain, hatred, jealousy, any negative trait belongs to the false according to the yoga. So after completing 200 hours, you should set an you should set a goal in your life that you should change yourself and continue to grow, continue to evolve, so that you can set an example first in your family, then amongst your friends, then in the society. Simply knowledge of anything you can get on the Google. But yoga is that knowledge that needs to be applied in day-to-day life. Mom is angry over you. You should not be angry. Because mom did not study yoga. You studied yoga. See that? Understand that instantly become aware. Dad becomes angry. You should not. Why? You have a responsibility. You have studied yoga. You don't agree with your mom and dad. You should explain calmly. This is what I am doing. That is what I have been teaching you. Comprehending, explaining logically, rationally, following the truth. That is also the part of yoga. That is what is the second phrase. Do you remember, Sienna? What is this? Satoma, Satgamaya. And what is the next line? Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya. So I'm also enlightening your parents. That is the true nature of yoga. I should move from ignorance to wisdom. If I live in ignorance, that is why I don't agree. And that is why I enter into a conflict. And in the family, everybody is ready to listen. Hold on, let me explain to you. And if your parents make you agree with what they say is right, your duty, your responsibility is to agree with them and follow them. So that all the conflicts come to an end. Am I right? Maya and Sienna, am I right?
Yeah.
Prove me that I am right. Don't give me a certificate that I'm right. Are you Sienna? So once you start thinking in this way, working in your way, the way you start thinking and speaking and working in that way in your life, it will not help you to live in the harmony within yourself, but it will set the ground to succeed in your life, anywhere and everywhere. Casey knows my story. When I came in 2007, there was nothing. Nobody knew me. But you follow the path rightly, the people will start knowing you, understanding you. You set an example. That is what I have to say today. Remember one thing. You study what? You study physics to become a physicist. You study biology to become a doctor. You study yoga to study yourself to become a better person. You become better to yourself. Leave the world outside. When you are good to yourself, you are good to everyone. I think I have repeated this sentence hundreds of times. I don't know whether it has gone into your ears, the head, but from the head it should go down to the heart. And from the heart it should go down into action. Forget the world outside. You become good to yourself. Finished. That is the ultimate message of yoga. That is all, Casey. What should I say now?
I think we should hand out some malas to those who would like to, and then guide and remind the girls of the mala meditation, and let them put their malas to good use, right? For getting
Do
away.
you have the mala?
I'm gonna hand
Oh, do the parents have the mala? No.
I have another one and I'm looking for it real quick.
Okay, find out. Let your parents also see the mala. It's mala means garland simply. Mala means garland. So it has a one basic which is known as the top. So anyhow, we put this is which finger this is? This is the ring finger?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the ring finger and the thumb should touch each other and the mala should enter between the ring and the thumb. And with the index finger or the middle finger, you can move the bead, one bead after the other, one bead after the other. So that is the process, putting some mantra, and we will be doing a small practice of mala meditation. So normally this mala has 108 beads. What is the significance? Almost 6 to 7, or you can say 10,000 years ago, when the yoga was discovered, the meditation and hundreds of practices were discovered. So the language of the Sanskrit was evolved to convey these mystical principles. So the Sanskrit alphabet has 54 letters. 54 letters, they are masculine, and 54 feminine. So total becomes 108. That is why we have 108 beads in the mala. When we practice mala daily, it purifies the mind. It gives you a tremendous focus. And if we do it with some specific mantra, it awakens, it increases your power of memory, power of retention, and it gives you lot of mental powers. But it needs to be practiced daily. So what we are going to do, first thing you understand, the ring finger and the thumb. Clear? And with the middle finger, do you see that? You just move it. Say, let us use the mantra Shivoham. So when you say, we are just demonstrating Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. So when we are chanting the mantra, we are not in a hurry. We are not speeding the way we speed the car on the road. Rhythmic. Shivoham. Pause. Shivoham, pause, Shivoham, pause. So the first round when we complete, maybe, I will tell you. So first round when we complete Shivoham, normal speaking mode.
Hang on
In the
1 second. So those who have a mala, vision of the 108. So whether you're wearing a long, you have a beaded bracelet, your mala a beaded bracelet, that's going to be a division of the 108. So don't get hung up on whether you have a long mantra or a short mantra. I think the short one is easier for me to deliver.
Yeah, we have taken the second time when we chant the same mantra in the second round. It should be long and melodious way. Shivoham, Shivoham. And the third round should be done mentally. While chanting the mantra, this mantra means I am the peace, I am the happiness. It has nothing to do with religion, cult, dogma, and belief. Shivoham. The name Shiva also represents auspiciousness. So, how we start doing it? Close your eyes, check your body is comfortable. You are having the mala in between the ring and the middle ring finger and the thumb. They are touching each other, and in between you have a mala. And now your mind is focused inside the forehead. The body is steady, you are comfortable, eyes are closed, the mind is looking inside the head or the heart, and the middle ring and the ring finger is touching the first beat. The moment you touch the first beat, Shivu hum, loudly start saying Shivu hum, Shivu hum, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. Bead is moving with every Shivoham. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Shivoham. You are looking deep inside the heart, in the space. Shivoham. 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 Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Mind is looking inside the heart in the space while dropping Shivoham, and you are moving the bead to the middle. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Continue. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. And now we will start with the second mala with a long and melodious sound that will change the waves in the brain. It has a tremendous influence of this mantra. Let us start. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. Continue, louder. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Louder, continue. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Louder, longer, melodious, as if you are singing. Keep looking inside the head. Shivoham, Shivoham. Beautiful. Shivoham. Continue. Shivoham. 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 Continue louder. Shivoham. 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 Louder, deeper, longer. Shivoham. 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 Louder, longer, deeper, my friends. Shivoham. 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 Louder, deeper, longer, I don't hear you. Shivoham. 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 I believe you are moving the bead with every Shivoham. Continue. Shivoham. 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 I don't hear you. Shivoham. 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 Continue. Shivoham. 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 I don't hear you. Shivoham. 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 I don't hear you. Shivoham. 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 Now the third round of the mala, you have to do it mentally. You move the one bead and mentally say Shivoham. Second bead, Shivoham, with a focus on the bead and awareness inside the heart. Continue without moving any body, any part of the body, maintaining the steadiness in the body. I'll tell you when this round is complete. Mentally you are doing it, so it may be a little faster, but maintain a pause in between two Shivoham. Mentally you are dropping Shivoham inside the heart with a moving of the bead, but no movement in the body. The mind starts living within. That gives you a variety of experiences. Continue moving the bead, mentally saying Shivoham and installing the Shivoham inside the heart. It changes. You may get a variety of experiences, vision, colors, or deep calmness. Continue. Now leave the mala, do nothing for a while. Live just into that state. The mind is withdrawn inside. If you do it even the 3 rounds every day, even for a week, you will discover all your anxiety goes away. you find calmness and relaxation. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences, bring the hands down. Practice is complete. I'll ask your parents first. Do you feel even 1% of calmness?
Yes.
More
More.
than 1%.
More than 1%. Now you have to observe your Maya and your Sienna. Do they live in that state of the calmness? It means they have done the practice regularly. Maya, Sienna, anything you want to say?
Really nice. Thank you.
Over to Casey.
I'm just really thankful every time that you guide us. It just reminds me that I have these tools available to me and I should be using them even more regularly. I haven't done Shivoham in a long time, and the withdrawal of the mind happens quite quickly with something so simple. And I thank you for reminding me of that practice.
So, thank you very much for learning that we know a little from from me, from the Casey, and we are always available.
I'm going to have Sienna hold you in her lap in my laptop so I can get a picture of Sienna and you, so stay right there and get some more pictures. I want to get the two of you together for certain. Because he's just as if he's not trying to use that as a white blob chair. Beard looks nice, sir. Beard looks nice.
Beard look nice. I have not had my beard cut for the last 6 months. Except I cut my mustaches a bit, otherwise these hairs will go
Very good.
inside while eating.
And Sienna wanted to get your certificate, your flowers, anything else you want, your mala, and bring it up here. And I'll take another picture if you wish. Very good. So funny, this age of technology. There he is, beautiful. Couple more like that. Oh, there he is. Very nice. Good. Sienna's family, how was that meditation? Was it a little weird? Or was it okay? Relaxed.
Relaxed. Very good.
You could say everybody was like, everybody say Shivoham means? Just means I am peace, I am nothing to do with religion, it's just the transition of peace. Any questions for Girish? Well, Maya and Sienna, we want you both to know, we've said it so many times, Avery knows, and she has to hear it thousands more times. Come to us with any questions, Anything that's going on in your life, this way, can you see me? Probably not, right?
Now I can.
There you go. So come to us whenever you have questions. Nothing's too silly. Remember, this guy, he knows like physics and chemistry and stuff, so you got problems in school, go to this guy. But you've got all the tools you need to just make your life what? One that you're not suffering. And the more that you're not suffering, the more other people are going to see, hey, what's that Sienna doing? What's she doing in her life? She's always happy. It's real. It's not fake. What's that Maya? She always just seems so peaceful. People are going to see that. And those are your best teaching moments. Forget about if you had 30 people in a class or 5 people in a class. Your best teaching moments is when somebody's seeing something different in you, and then you can go back and say, it's authentic yoga. I learned it from the teacher. I learned real knowledge in a real way. It's real yoga. All right? That's the best thing you can do. But please know that we're here for you. You know me. Text me anytime. I may not respond to you if you text me at night, but look for a response from me at 4 a.m. That's when you're going to get your text. All right?
For me, email is the best.
Come to any trainings anytime you want. Avery's going to be continuing her training, so all trainings are open to everybody. In this age of COVID, we don't know when we're going to get some of our other guest teachers able to, come in-house. But, I email everybody all the time, and almost everybody all the time. Everything's always going to be okay? So Girish, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm going to let everybody, I'm going to take a few more pictures and let everybody go their way. Maya, you feeling good?
Yeah, that was a great meditation. Thank you guys so much for
Supporting Maya. Maya, you're just so awesome, so beautiful. And your parents have been a beautiful part of this process too. So I'm not going to say that I'm going to miss you, because I know that I can reach out and get with you anytime, and now I know where you live.
Yeah.
Up in my house. So
I
talk
know.
later. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye. Namaste.
Bye. Namaste.